All right, guys. First off, Happy New Year to everyone, everyone in chambers and in the audience today and viewing online. Happy New Year to you all. The time is now 7 p.m. on Monday, January 5th. Clerk, will you please call the roll for City Council?
Councilmember Wu.
Here.
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Hersey. Councilmember Colasetti.
Here.
Councilmember Bishop. Councilmember Wilkin.
Here.
Councilmember Quisenberry.
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here. Thank you. Quorum is present. We may proceed. We will now go to approval of the minutes from the November 17th, 2025 City Council Special Meeting minutes, the November 17th, 2025 Committee of the Whole meeting, and the November 24th, 2025 City Council meeting, as well as the December 8th, 2025 City Council Special Meeting minutes.
I move approval. Second.
All right, moved by Mary Alice, seconded by Grace. I don't need a roll call, do I? I can't remember. Clerk, do you need to call roll for? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, those stand approved. Thank you all. All right, there are no additions to the agenda, and we will move on. So at this time, we will now have presentations and public input. Seeing no presentations, if there are any members of the public who would wish to speak to the council, please approach the podium, state your name for the record. You will have 5 minutes. This is your time to shine. All right, do we have any emails? Not for this one. I am so sorry. Ignore me. All right, we will now move on. The public input is now closed. Floor is open for council input and communication. Go ahead.
Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. As we are entering this new year, I just wanted to give a shout out to actually the Space in Champaign for an event that they held at the end of 2025, a holiday dinner where they created an opportunity for folks with resources to provide some support and a meal for the holidays. It was just a truly beautiful, wonderful event where I got to meet some of our neighbors. So I just wanted to recognize the hard work that specifically Ian and Aaliyah put into making sure that folks who are hungry in our community have access to the food that they deserve, and that we're recognizing that these are valuable members of our community. It was just truly a wonderful event, and just appreciate seeing that kind of support in our community and the work that they're doing to make sure folks have food.
All right, thank you, Jaya. Anyone else? All right. We will now move to reports of standing committee, which there aren't any. So the next item is the committee of the whole. Now recognize Jaya.
Thank you. There were no items on the consent agenda, and there's just one item on the regular agenda. So on behalf of the committee of the whole, I'd like to move for approval resolution number 2025-12-094R, a resolution approving an increase in the number of liquor licenses in the Class INC designation for Champaign-Urbana Adventures in Time and Space, LLC, doing business as Parcadia, 302 North Broadway Avenue, Suite 100, Urbana, Illinois.
Second.
All right, motion made by Jaya, seconded by James. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, clerk, will you call the roll?
Councilmember Wu.
Yes.
Councilmember Evans.
Yes.
Councilmember Colasetti.
Yes.
Councilmember Wilkin.
Yes.
Councilmember Quisenberry.
Yes.
All right, thank you. That motion passes. All right, we will now, thank you, Jaya. We will now move to reports of special committees, which there aren't any. We will move to reports of officers, which there are none. With no further business before this body, this meeting is adjourned. We will now move to committee of the whole. Thank you.
All right, good evening. This is the Committee of the Whole. I apologize if my voice sounds weird. Please let me know if I need to speak up. It's a little croaky. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Wu.
Here?
Councilmember Evans.
Here.
Councilmember Hersey. Councilmember Colasetti.
Here.
Councilmember Bishop. Councilmember Wilkin.
Here.
Councilmember Quisenberry,
Here.
Mayor Williams.
Here.
Next item on the agenda is approval of minutes of previous meetings. There are none. Additions to the agenda? There are none. The next item is presentations and public input. If there's anybody who'd like to address the committee of the whole, please step up to the microphone and state your name for the record. All right, I believe we have one item that Jay is going to read.
Thank you. It says, Dear Mayor Williams and council members Wu, Evans, Hersey, Cole, Seti, Bishop, Bulkin, Quisenberry. Happy New Year. It would be grateful if you could read the below public comment on behalf at tonight's meeting. My name is Lila Leopold, and I'm a resident of Urbana, Ward 4, and would like to direct my comment today towards continued support for a discussion of the surveillance oversight ordinance. I applaud the council on their work on the proposed ordinance and deeply thank you for your discussion and consideration of our collective civil rights and liberties in this discussion. In brief, this is such a great opportunity to address a gap in policy to the benefit of all those involved, and I hope all avenues for collaboration will be explored. With big data comes big responsibility, and I hope the city of Urbana will continue to evaluate all tools at its disposal against their pluses and minuses. This has much to do with the nature of what these tools are and misunderstanding about their limits and promises. There's so much being put out there and marketed to cities before policy is in place to govern these things. Without governance, we become unfettered testing grounds with little to no protection of our basic liberties in the process. Ultimately, this community will be safe and prosper because of how we care for our neighbors. Part of this care can be the careful evaluation of what we put into the community and what we take from it, where this all goes and who is most at risk when we do so. I appreciate that we have councils and committees and departments to help think through these difficult times. Surveillance tech is something worth your careful consideration. I thank you for taking the time to do so and for hopefully helping to carve out space in policy for these conversations to continue. Thank you so much for your consideration, Lila Leopold.
Thank you. Does anybody else have correspondence to read into the record? Okay, moving on with staff reports. Are there any staff reports this evening? Thank you. New business. First item is resolution number 2026-01001R, a resolution approving an increase in the number of liquor licenses in the Class P, as in Paul, designation for Champagne Pit Stop Incorporated at 1812 North Cunningham Avenue in Urbana. Executive.
Yeah, I'll just say it's just a change in ownership. So that's it.
So not an increase in the number. Got it. All right. Any questions? I would entertain a motion.
I'll move approval of resolution number 2026-01-001R, a resolution approving an increase in the number of liquor licenses in the Class P designation for Champagne Pit Stop, Inc., 1812 North Cunningham Avenue, Urbana, Illinois, on the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, moved by Jay and seconded by Grace. Discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All right, that moves on to the consent agenda. The next item is resolution number 2026-01002R, a resolution approving and authorizing a recipient agreement between the City of Urbana and Cunningham Township Supervisor's Office for daytime staffing for Cunningham Township overnight shelter. Elizabeth.
So at the request of the township for assistance, the mayor is recommending that we allocate $37,000 for daytime staffing for the new Cunningham Township overnight shelter. And that obviously this is a high priority for the community to meet this need. And that's it.
Questions? Chris?
So where's the 37,000 coming from?
So we have a budget amendment is the next item on the agenda, so it would come from the fund balance in the general fund as part of that budget amendment.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I have a question. Typically, when we do these types of types of, not resolutions, sorry, agreements. We pay after receipt of funds spent. That's typically how we do grants, and so I'm wondering why, in this case, we're paying up front the full amount.
Yeah, I mean, we've actually done it both ways, but I think we're going to be first in on this, so they're asking for assistance from several government partners in the community, and we're going to be first in, so I think this money's going to be spent pretty quickly.
Is there an estimate? I know this is until April, correct? And they were going to have open hours if it's 20 degrees or below.
Yes, correct, and they're intending to keep the shelter open until April.
Until April. Is there any information in terms of how much this funding will cover in terms of daytime operations so that?
I don't have those details with me. I think ultimately, when all the governmental partners pitch in, they're hoping to cover daytime hours every day on a daily basis.
Okay, I would be interested in the next week to know the total cost of keeping the shelter open during the daytime until April, and what potential partners would be also contributing to that.
Sure, I'll get that information for you.
Thank you. Any questions for Elizabeth or the mayor? Okay, I'd entertain,
And I was just going to say, as Elizabeth said, we are expecting that other, entities will put in, to this. For us, it was just one of those things where this was a clear need. There was, it was a need more immediate than anything. So let's just do what we can as far as our part is concerned. So that was essentially it too, so.
I guess the reason I wanted to know a little more details is, obviously, we are a community in which we have people go back and forth between Champaign and Urbana, and I didn't know if the proposal was going to be a split between Champaign and Urbana, or if there are other communities who are also chipping in.
Sure.
Just like to know that kind of.
No, and absolutely, and we can get that information, but, I do want to just stress, for me, as far as my thought process, it wasn't about who can do what, it's what we could do, and that was what, kind of warranted my thoughts on it, so. but
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you. James?
I just want to confirm, is this the shelter that's going to be located at the former armory off of 4th Street? Okay, thank you.
All right, if there's no more questions, I would entertain a motion.
Would move approval of resolution number 2026-01-002R, resolution approving and authorizing a recipient agreement between the City of Urbana and Cunningham Township Supervisor's Office for daytime staffing for Cunningham Township overnight shelter.
Second.
All right, moved by Grace and seconded by Chris. Discussion. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Right, that motion passes. Next up is ordinance number 2026-01001, an ordinance revising the annual budget ordinance, budget amendment number 5, daytime staffing for Cunningham Township overnight shelter.
So this is essentially part 2 of the last item. This just makes the budget change necessary to provide the funding for the $37,000.
Questions? James?
Yeah, and just to remind people, Elizabeth, can you confirm, since we passed the budget originally, we've made changes over the last 6-7 months that have actually improved our fund balance position by greater than this amount?
Correct. And the biggest change is that when we finally complete the audit and close the books on the year, we typically find that we have more than we were estimating. So that's
So
the biggest change.
we're not endangering the city on its policy as far as spending by doing this. We're in a very good place to do this.
No, yeah, this is absolutely compliant with all of our financial policies.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, can you remind me? I can't find it at the moment. What does that leave remaining so that we keep in compliance with our financial policy?
So our estimated ending fund balance would be $20,959,000. Of that, 17,417,000 is reserved for specific needs. So that's the 25% policy requirement, which is a little less than 12 million. And then we have a couple of designated reserves related to the potential loss of federal funds, 4.6 million. And then future expenditures for the Community Engagement Team Pilot Program, 873,000. So that leaves a little more than 3.5 million that could be allocated somewhere.
Okay. All right, I would entertain a motion. James?
I'll move ordinance number 2026-01-001, an ordinance revising the annual budget ordinance, budget amendment number 5, daytime staffing for Cunningham Township overnight shelter. To the consent agenda. or
Not for a
approval.
budget amendment.
Oh, okay. Never mind. For approval.
Second.
All right, moved by James and seconded by Grace. Discussion. Jaya?
Thank you. Kind of related to the last conversation as well, I appreciate, getting a little bit more information, but I do want to thank the mayor and city staff for moving so quickly because this is such a pressing need, and this has been a really brutal winter for much of this time, and especially if that continues, we want to make sure that folks have a safe place to go.
James?
Yeah, I want to echo my thanks to the mayor and staff for providing city council with information about this leading up to it so that we knew this would be coming and the thought behind it and the requests and everything. And so I appreciate that.
Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All those opposed, same sign. All right, that motion passes. Thank you very much, Elizabeth. Next item on the agenda is a discussion item for the police surveillance technology, which is a continuing discussion. I guess I'm going to hand it over to Grace. Grace, where do you want to start tonight?
Thank you. I don't have things planned for this. When we last discussed it on the 15th, I believe, we had some good talks, and I believe there were some 2x2 meetings since then. I had very productive talk with Deputy of Police Miklick, and so I was imagining that this was presentation coming from staff today, but I said we don't have the city attorney, and so I don't know if we're ready at this point. I think I do recall there was mentioned that we wouldn't be ready by today. Is that right?
Correct. So staff will be coming still to present. We are looking for two things to kind of help lead us. One, I'll be giving a presentation later this month on Placer AI. But then also there was some questions in regards to, is this ordinance moving forward to citywide or police? That also helps us as far as internal conversation, who's at that table, to bring back that feedback. So if you all would like to discuss that portion of whether or not you all see this being citywide or directly towards the police, that will be great information for us to move forward.
Deshaun?
Raphael, maybe not something you know, I'm not sure, but are you aware of whether or not Darcy received communication from all council yet?
So of the council members, Darcy did send out an email requesting that you just let her know if you would prefer, what your preference would be. And of the 4 responses we got, we had 3 in favor of making it citywide and 1 in favor of just police.
We have 4 votes at the moment. Grace?
Thank you. I've said this before, but I do think that still the information would be helpful. So, I mean, I think that, within the police department, I think that's agreed upon. I think that they can do that review. I think that that would happen, it would cover that department at least either way we go. And that most of the other departments were somewhat minimal. I think if you can explain Placer AI, I think that covers a lot of community development, to my understanding. And it seemed like there was maybe just a few from fire that are things that they don't even currently use. So I would still like information from all the departments before we make that decision. And I think it would make sense to move forward with that, especially since that's the majority of the votes that we have in so far. Well, not votes, but our email straw poll. So I think that the more information is better before we make that decision. And since that is the majority on this straw poll at the moment, I would really appreciate a better understanding on the surveillance technologies that are being used throughout the whole city.
Okay, so as I understand it, Darius, when do you think the police department will be ready to present?
The police department most likely will be towards the end, so we're looking at January 26th. I'm hoping to have Placer AI the Monday prior. So let me just pull a date, sorry. So I'm looking at January 19th for Placer AI, January 26th for police. I would love some clarification. So initially, the police are coming back with feedback in regards directly to the ordinance. Do you all prefer presentations to give more details on the actual surveillance list that you have prior to feedback on the ordinance itself?
Grace?
Thank you. And just clarify, you mean this list that's also in the packet of all the technologies that are or are potentially used, right?
Yes, just kind of based off the comment you just brought up with fire and knowing, what their options of surveillance is. Do you all want presentations from everything on that list prior to general feedback on the ordinance? I'm open to, moving in the direction you all would like.
I don't want that to delay the feedback on the ordinance itself and its implications. But I do think that we need to revisit that and just be sure that we understand them. I think some are pretty straightforward and already understandable from the description, and some I think could use some more. But I would envision that when a department is giving a presentation on kind of their review of the ordinance, that it might mention, the things that would be impacted, both the specific technologies and any operational things that might change or be impacted by that. So I think some more information would be helpful, but I don't know that we need to delay it and recap everything just using open source YouTube, but I think that there are some that are less understood, as we've talked about Placer AI being one of the big ones.
James?
I was going to say, would it be helpful, since we have the list, for council members to look through that and send Darius the specific ones that we feel like we need more detail
I was
on
just
before-
going to suggest something very similar, yeah.
And then that way, he would know the scope of which items staff would need to talk about, maybe to help us understand that we don't need this to apply to all departments, right? Or specific departments it might need to apply to.
All right, so it sounds to me like since this is information that Darius could use and be helpful for him, I think that we should individually email Darius any kind of technology on that list that we would like further details. And if you have any direction in terms of what kind of details, I think that would be helpful, but you don't have to. Since you're going to be doing Placer AI on the 19th, and you'll be, the police are tentatively scheduled for January 25th. Is that right? 26? 26, sorry, I wrote down the wrong number. When ideally would you like the information from council?
Let's see. If I can have that, if you have any questions in regards to any other surveillance on that list, if we can have it by the 9th, so the end of the week, just listing those, that will help us in case there's any departments outside of the police to prepare a presentation as well.
The 9th, so in 4 days.
Yes, is that doable?
I think it's doable, however.
I will give more time, but I don't want this to also push back anything.
Correct, correct. Yeah,
yes.
no. I'm just thinking in terms of our straw poll.
Oh, yes.
We get 4 out of 7. Grace?
Just on that little detail, I don't know if the 12th is acceptable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
I know I kind of budget some of my city council stuff for the weekend.
Understand.
Don't have availability during the week, so if we just had till next Monday, that would be helpful.
And I apologize, I can't remember if you've already done this. Have you sent that in Excel or Google Sheets?
I believe Excel, but I can resend it. I'll
Thank
resend
you.
it, Yeah.
It's somewhere in my
Yeah,
email.
yeah. I'll resend that list, and then based off of the feedback I get on the 12th, I'll be in communication if any other department needs to present and provide a timeline on that.
All right, so the marching orders are, anybody speak now, forever hold your peace. If you have not voted, go ahead and vote and send that to Darcy. If you want more details on any item within the list that Darius provided, send it to Darius no later than the 12th. Grace.
Thank you. I would just mention a few things to highlight that, to my understanding, the Civilian Police Review Board, CPRB, and the Human Rights Commission, the HRC, have and/or will be discussing their participation in the surveillance technology review process, potentially. I have not had a chance to watch the CPRB meeting, but I believe they have discussed it. I don't know if that's, he confirms. I wasn't tracking when their next one is, but that may be something, and I was meaning to look that up and follow their meeting. So I don't know if we want to have a flag email reminder may be helpful for whoever thinks about it and finds it first and share it, because I think that would be helpful to watch from both of those commissions. In the 2x2s, we did talk with Carla Boyd, the staff kind of involved in those commissions, and also with the city attorney, and I think we got some productive discussions there, and that Matt, our city attorney, was going to be drafting some language, working with city staff and the commissions on working that Section 8, but I think that there is some workable solutions in sight there. And there was a few other things that we discussed in that, in the 2x2s, and again, that I had a good talk with our deputy, Mikulik. And so looking forward to some recommendations and really improving this even more than we have over the past more than a year that it's been on the table here. And then just lastly, wanted to add that I'm happy to chat with any other council members or staff if you have questions. Not the owner of this, but one of the sponsors and very involved in drafting it, so I'm happy to chat. I think a lot of the conversations so far that have been most helpful were even just understanding the wording and/or intent to what's already proposed, and starting from there as kind of a first step. And I think we're getting really close to having kind of a shared understanding on what's proposed, and I'm looking forward to having some informed and productive improvements to it over the next few weeks, and we'll see how much longer. Thank you.
All right, anything else that people want to talk about top of mind with the surveillance ordinance? Okay. Last item on our agenda is council input and communications. Anybody like to, Jaya?
Okay. So I've had the opportunity to talk to most of the council as well as the mayor, that my family is moving out of Ward 4. So that means, I see one of my constituents in the audience, that I am going to have to resign. Oh, shoot. It's a very difficult decision. It's like such an incredible privilege to represent Ward 4. Oh, shoot.
You don't want my Kleenex.
I've been in communication with the mayor since it looked like this process was going to move forward, and I feel very confident that there will be a fair and competitive process to find someone who can step in to fill this chair. It has been an incredible honor to work with the folks who are up here, with this particular leadership team. I'm not leaving Urbana. I will have the privilege of being represented by Representative Quisenberry, Council Member Quisenberry. I'm giving you a promotion too. And yeah, my family's still here in Urbana, still going to be a part of the community, talking to the mayor about other ways to stay involved with the city. In my other capacity in the community, I will continue to serve on the alternate response task force. But it's going to be a big change. But we're still here in Urbana, still love this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. James.
Well, I just want to say thank you, Jaya. It's been a great experience working with you, particularly some of those 2x2s we got to share together where we really had a chance to dig in and talk about things. And I really hope, I welcome you to Ward 7, and I really hope that you will call me up and talk to me about things. Ward 7 is pretty busy, so we do have people that are engaged there, and I'm looking forward to you being part of that community.
All right, any other, Mayor?
I will just say, Jaya, it has been an extreme honor serving alongside of you for this short window of time. I feel like I'm responsible for 80% of the tears because you were gracefully out the way, you know, and not thinking about doing this prior to, you know, us announcing. But I do want to say thank you. Thank you for, you know, just being open to change. Thank you for, you know, having a level-headed approach to any and everything that we, you know, provided and brought moving forward. Thank you for believing in my little crazy vision, right? And as we, you know, continue to work together to move the city forward, your work has not gone unnoticed. As you see, you got constituents out here with tears in their eyes. Apparently, we need to keep Kleenex up here now from now on. But I just want to say again, thank you. I appreciate your work. And obviously, we have more work to do. And now you're in my ward as well. So, you know, we can have a Ward 7 party. So, yeah, that was not a threat to anyone. I love James, too. But just saying, anywho, thank you again. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. If I can, I just want to clarify, I'm here for the rest of the month. Expect that February 2nd will be my last meeting, now that I can talk. And just want to confirm again that City Administrator White and our city clerk and the mayor have been working on making sure that there is, and we'll let them kind of talk about that process, but essentially we're looking at a competitive process where people will have the opportunity to talk about their vision for Ward 4 so that there will be an appointment, my understanding is, for the equivalent of the rest of the first 2 years of this term, and then there would be an election following that. So if folks in Ward 4 are considering or would consider serving in this role, I'm more than happy to talk to folks. This could be a good opportunity to dip your toe in. It's not a full 4-year term.
It's really not that bad, guys.
It's an incredible privilege and opportunity, and I think in these 8 months, we've gotten more done than much of the rest of my time on council. So there's an incredible amount of energy and momentum, and it's an exciting time to be on this council. So anybody who's in Ward 4, please feel free to reach out to me and keep an eye out for more information about how to apply.
All right, Chris, would you mind taking the chair?
I will take the chair and recognize Mary Alice.
All right, well, Jay, I want to say what a pleasure it's been to serve with you on this council. I have always found that you want to hear all voices in the conversation. I've always felt that you have sought to find a way to compromise, to have as many voices as possible being heard, being addressed, and I've really appreciated that as we try and really do the best for our entire city. So thank you very much for your service, and you will be missed.
And I will relinquish the chair back to Mary Alice.
Thank you. With no further business, and
I do have one last request for council. If y'all can stick around for just a couple minutes after the meeting. Yeah, 2 minutes. The city administrator says 2 minutes. Let's make sure the timer's on, but 2 minutes after the meeting.
Okay, all right,
Thanks.
wonderful. With no further business before our committee, am I allowed to close now? Okay. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.